Christmas Eve at the North Pole, and Santa and his elves are going through who's been naughty and who's been nice. Each team will be presented with 3 naughty musicians and 3 naughty stories. You have to match the musician to the story. Miff, Jimmy, Denise, you're first, and your artists are Country Cutie Amber Lawrence, the Warbling Wiggle Sam Moran, and stunning soprano Antoinette Halloran. And the reason they're not getting presents this year is one of them lied about running in a marathon and went out for breakfast instead. One of them pretended to be asleep on an international flight for 11 hours to avoid talking to a boring woman. And one of them tried to save the life of someone who was just having a nice rest. Miff, Jimmy, Denise, which story do you think goes with which artist?
Sam would do, I reckon, a fair bit of travel internationally with the Wiggles.
But he also looks like he's a bit of a runner.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yes, but I think they all look slim
pretty
and
fit.
Yeah, fit.
Well, we have to say that.
They all eat breakfast, you know that. By the way, you know I am a Wiggle.
Are you a Wiggle?
I'm the Black Wiggle. I've got the Guernsey. I did the show with the Wiggles, and they gave me the black Guernsey, and they've retired it now, and it's hanging in my cupboard.
So you've got a black skivvy?
I've got the black skivvy with the Wiggles. I got to wake up Jeff. I had to scream.
And Jeff has not fallen asleep since.
Slept a week since. Yes.
I reckon you'd be the opposite of wake up Jeff. I reckon it'd be more like, yeah, Jeff's been awake for about 4 days now.
Yeah. And he just keeps going to discos. Jeff's taking a big interest in house music. I don't know. The Wiggles.
I don't know whether it's my fantasy about the Wiggles that they would be overzealous in wanting to resuscitate a sleeping person or a resting person.
I love the idea that they did use a defibrillator because after shocking someone alive, the hands would have gone...
That could be it. So, you know.
I'm thinking, though, as an opera singer, Antoinette, is it encouraged that you keep really fit?
You have to be fat or fit.
Right.
Ooh. I know what I'd choose. I know what I chose.
Amber, can I ask, is your career taking you overseas?
It has, yeah,
Yes.
all around Australia and overseas.
OK, because I reckon 11 hours definitely is an overseas flight, and you've all done it. So
All right,
that leaves us
Antoinette,
nothing.
have you ever done a first aid course?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Sam?
I have, yes.
Amber?
I have.
Oh, well, that's cleared that up. They've all travelled on planes.
Have you all had breakfast?
My gut tells me Sam's the marathon.
All right,
Really?
let's go Sam the
but-
marathon.
OK,
It
so we
doesn't-
put the marathon card in front of Sam.
See, if you're an opera singer, you can pretend you didn't speak English and then not talk to anybody. You know,
Start singing in
it's not,
Italian on the
just talk one of the arias, you know.
So maybe we swap over then.
Swap them two over.
Amber with Antoinette.
That is a lovely thought, that there's an opera singer on a flight, someone boring starts talking, and she looks back and goes, o mio babino caro.
Yeah, and
Should we go with that?
I think so.
OK, so you're saying that Antoinette pretended to be asleep on an international flight.
Yes.
Sam pretended to run a marathon but went out for breakfast instead.
I think he'd
Not
do
a
it.
Wiggle wouldn't lie, though.
Oh, yeah.
You reckon swap?
Swap the last two.
Swap.
Amber and Sam swap.
OK,
Oh.
so Antoinette pretended to be asleep, Sam resuscitated someone who was actually having a nice rest, and Amber
Skipped the
went for
marathon.
breakfast instead of a marathon. OK, would the people with the correct story in front of them please take a step forward? You got nothing correct. Amber, would you like to tell us what happened?
Well, shall I?
Oh, we had it
Oh,
right.
no.
I was driving down the street and I saw an old lady sitting on the nature strip, and I pulled the handbrake on and rushed over to her and I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "No English." And I'd done some resuscitation training, so I put her in the recovery position on her side and wondered why she was trying to get back up. I called the ambulance. I rummaged through her bag and her pockets and I found her phone, and I called her daughter. And her daughter came and the ambulance came and they took her blood pressure and she was fine, and then when the daughter got there, she translated that the lady was just having a rest.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my goodness.
And I thought that was a nice story, not a naughty story, because I was trying to save her life.
I'd give you a present for that.
I think forcing old ladies down onto the grass is a really good.
Sam, would you like to tell us what your story was?
You nasty wiggle.
I know, I'm sorry.
Evil
I
wiggle.
talked to this lovely woman who was sitting next to me on the flight. She was lovely for the first 2 hours, and usually you can subtly put the headphones on and watch a movie, but then there was the tap on the shoulder. I'm sorry, can I just ask you about the Wiggles and ask you about that was fine for the next 45 minutes. And then I decided that I needed to pretend to be asleep. Unfortunately, she couldn't go to sleep during the flight, so I was pretending to be asleep for 11 hours.
And Antoinette?
Well, I was training for the marathon on my own, and when I turned up to do it, there were 10,000 conscientious people in Lycra, and I couldn't bring myself to join the throng. It was too intimidating, so I went out and had Eggs Benedict.
So what happened? Did you then go back home?
Well, then I went home about 3 hours later, and my family all ran out to the car and hugged me and told me how fantastic I was. And I couldn't bring myself to tell them that I hadn't done it, so they ran me a bath and brought me snacks.
Made you a nice breakfast.
Would you please thank Amber Lawrence, Sam Moran and Antoinette Halloran.
Well done, Jack.
Okay,